Hi everybody, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in again. I want to ask you a question. What did you do last Sunday? I mean, apart from the obvious things, you got up, you ate a couple of times, you went to worship, but what else did you do? And particularly, what did you do to rest? The reason I ask is because I think a number of us will be finding rest more difficult than usual in these circumstances. Our routines have been dramatically changed. And when our routines are changed, the normal patterns of work and rest and everything else that we do get disrupted, and it's harder to use those times so productively. Maybe you've noticed that at work, your work has become less productive and efficient because you don't have your usual routines and your usual place to work and your usual habits and the times and the commute to your office and so on. I think something similar can happen with our rest. When our routines are disrupted, the normal things that we do that are restful, time with our families, just relaxing, perhaps reading, the kinds of things that make a Lord's Day rich and full and the blessing that it ought to be, they can kind of get lost in the chaotic back and forth of frittering time away doing things that aren't really work, but are not really restful either. It turns out that rest is a significant priority in Scripture. It's right there in the Ten Commandments, obviously, the fourth commandment to keep the Sabbath day holy. And as the Ten Commandments are expounded in the following chapters of Exodus, you get to Exodus 31 after the Lord has been through all the other commandments and all their implications. And then he says, above all, Exodus 31, you shall keep my Sabbaths. But it's not just that it's an obligation, like a rule we ought to keep. It's a blessing that we so often miss out on. If you think about Exodus 16, when the Israelites were wandering through the wilderness and they sinned by collecting manna on the Sabbath, it's a particularly ironic thing that they did, because the Lord had said, look, chill out, relax, I'll provide enough for you on the previous day, so you don't need to collect on the Sabbath. But in their foolishness and faithlessness, they went out and worked anyway, and their work was bad for them immediately and then brought the Lord's judgment upon them. Resting, it turns out, is just something we need to do. And I want to encourage you, therefore, as you look back at the previous Sunday, take a look forward to the next one. And if your previous Lord's Day was not quite as restful as it might have been, then grasp the opportunity in the few days you've got before the next one to plan what you're going to do. And obviously it's difficult because so many of the things that we'd love to do, we're not able to do in these circumstances. Pop round to your friends for a meal, that sort of thing, just can't be done. But are there things that you could do that are restful, which, if you planned your time and mapped it out like you do if you were planning a productive day of work, would allow you to use the Lord's Day in a way which would give you fresh vigour and a renewal of your spirit and just physical rest as well as everything else? Just something to think about. God bless you. Praying for you all, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.